Good day, students and non-students. How are you today? So I'm going to be looking at what's in the news about universities in the UK at the moment. But before I get into the video, a bit of admin. So social media is on the screen now. If you'd like to follow me anywhere, my username is preternatural9. Also, comment any views or opinions down below about what I'm going to talk about in the video, or just say hi for engagement because it does help. So, shall we get into the video? First things first, this isn't about students, but it is about universities. This is more about their staff. So 4 in 5 university and college staff are struggling because of the pandemic. They are struggling with their mental health and the stress they are under. So you probably know lecturers and teachers and tutors have a lot of stress anyway due to their jobs, and it's stressful to work in education and academia. But due to the pandemic and COVID, their stress load has just been increased, and so they are really struggling, some of them, with the amount of stress they're under and how much workload has increased, and the training they've had to do with like moving on to online and using blended and distance learning. They've had to really quickly learn how to do an online course when some of them have never ever done this before in their lives or in their working lives. So more than half of the staff said their workload had increased, and more than a fifth were working a bit harder. I don't like the way they put a bit harder, so they're just working harder. And they're saying that they don't feel like they're being supported. Now, I don't know about Hull University or my lecturers. This is just an overview of what a union of universities and colleges have done, but they're calling for wellbeing support due to a survey they've just done. And staff don't feel like they're being supported, which isn't right when we are always saying that the students need as much support as possible, but then we don't really think about the staff as much. I will think about the way students are being treated and the amount of stress they're under and how the pandemic is affecting them, but I've not thought much about the staff. I do think about them sometimes when I may be going to them a bit too much, maybe, or there's something that I probably can work out myself, so I don't go to them. And I am aware that sometimes if they aren't getting back to me quick enough, or they haven't released grades like that, then they are having to do a lot more, and some staff members are ill. They might end up getting COVID, so the other staff members are having to cover as well as doing their workload as well as their own. So I think we should really be focusing on not just student well-being, but the staff's well-being. So just everyone's well-being. Like, universities and colleges don't only equal students, and I think we sometimes forget that. So, and having more than half of the staff they surveyed saying that their workload has increased and they're struggling is quite profound, to be honest. Like, yeah, so 63% of the staff they surveyed were unhappy with the level of support from their employers even, and more than a fifth were not receiving access to mental health advice, which is quite sad when they're giving us the advice and telling us about all these services that are available to us, but they aren't getting that advice themselves, and they're not actually getting the help they need, probably because of the amount of work they're having to do. Will they have time to go and talk to someone? So yeah, I think we have to remember that staff are also human, and they are most definitely under a lot of stress right now, and I will keep that in mind when I'm talking to people, to be honest. Because like I said, I don't always take in consideration that the staff will be highly stressed too. So I find this one quite interesting, not gonna lie, and I feel like this is a representation of the British education system, and the people may not want to go into STEM subjects, or there's not enough people going into STEM subjects. And yeah, I don't do STEM. I do an arts degree, but the STEM subjects are incredibly important, and I'll tell you why through this news report. So, dependency of UK universities on China creates risks, report says. I mean, it is creating risks, but not like they say. I mean, but so many high impact science and technology subjects involve collaboration with China. So obviously, the UK and China are not, the best of friends. I don't think many places are the best of friends with China at the moment, for obvious reasons. Not only COVID, but human rights reasons as well, if you've been keeping an eye on the news about that. But when I'm reading this, I feel like what we should be doing is encouraging young people, British people, to go to universities and pursue these careers in research and technology. And yeah, China and the Chinese students are massively important to the universities in the UK. I don't know how many Chinese students there are at Hull, but I know it's a lot. There is, quite a lot of Chinese students in Hull, as well as from other countries, but I know that the Chinese population is quite large. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing at all, because I think for cultural reasons and development reasons, and for people to learn from different cultures and countries, I find incredibly important, and I try that myself. I wouldn't ever want to discriminate against people, but I feel like this is more a reflection on British young people not wanting to do these subjects, or maybe they just feel a bit inadequate and they're not getting the chances. They're just not getting that chance to pursue these careers, because maybe they are getting taken up by other people, but that's just because they might be more qualified. And so young people in this country need to be not pushed, but they need to just be told that you can do these subjects. You can do whatever you want, and you can do whatever you put your mind to. And obviously, me coming from a working class background and being quite disadvantaged, even though I really don't like that word, I am actually writing about this in my Writing from Life module, that I sometimes still feel like I don't really belong in academia, and because of my background, that I have a bit of imposter syndrome, and I feel like a lot of working class, maybe even working middle class people would feel, or may feel, like they don't belong in academia, and even though they might have really high expectations and goals for their lives, they may feel like they have to go the long way around and not pursue a degree. And so UK universities being dependent on other countries because they're not getting the people from this country to go and pursue these careers in like science and technology. And I don't feel, you can't blame that on China or another country. You can't blame that on our relationships with different countries, because then you just start discriminating against students from those countries who want to come and pursue those careers and have those goals. You need to look at what's going on in our education system and in our schools and our colleges. Are people who want to go into STEM and technology degrees actually feeling like they're able to? Because like I said, I, for many years and still now, feel like I don't belong sometimes. And it's a horrible, horrible feeling to have. Like, I have literally got a degree, I'm doing a master's, and I am pursuing my dreams and my goals, but sometimes, yeah, I still have that, like, feeling that I don't belong because of my background. And it's so wrong to feel like that. No one should feel like that. So I feel like this article is a representation of how we're not encouraging young people to really push themselves and do what they want, pursue your goals, or rather, we're not encouraging young people from disadvantaged working class backgrounds. And like it or not, we're actually a majority when it comes to the populace, but in academia, we're a minority. And so we're not encouraged as much as, say, people from middle and upper class backgrounds, because, you know, we're seen as these people who will always be working class and will always be in that, like, the labour force. And it sucks. It really sucks. And you probably won't understand it if you're not from that background. And trust me, it's a horrible, horrible feeling. And I think I will leave this video here. I don't want to, like, go overboard and over time, and I don't want it to be super long, but I'll put those two articles down below so you can go and read them for yourself. One is in The Guardian, one is in the Financial Times. And yeah, so I feel like we're always talking about this. So mental health and well-being are so important right now. They're always important, but right now they're so much more important, because every day can be a struggle just to, you know, get yourself into a positive mindset and want to be motivated, because, you know, what's going to happen in the next week, we have no idea still. And encourage the people you know in your life who may feel like they're at a disadvantage, and they may feel like they can't pursue their goals because of their background and their circumstances. Encourage them, tell them, no, that's wrong. You can do anything you want, and you can go to university, and you can study science and technology degrees because you're able. And don't listen to the establishment, don't listen to the people who want to put you down simply because of where you were born and the family you were born into. I go on a rant. But like I said, I'm going to end this video here, and thank you so much for watching. Let me know any of your thoughts below, and what do you think on these two articles and subjects I've just been talking about. And like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, that's cool, we have our opinions. Also, comment anything you want to comment down below, and I will see you next time. I may be doing something fun next week, but we will see what happens. Fingers crossed that I can work it out and we can do what we want to do. So yeah, next week might be a little different, and I'm excited about it. So bye. Why can I never remember the fucking words? I just said the word and now I can't remember it. Oh, what is the word? Why is my brain just gone again? Just, you know,